Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, welcome. This is the Ask the Expert show. We're on every Monday, Thursday from 6 to 7 with some of the greatest local experts. We are actually waiting on our expert, Tina Lure, right now, who practices family law. I just heard on the news that I want to tell the audience about. They were just saying how the numbers are going up. The reason why the numbers for COVID are going up is kids are going back to school, people are going back to work. I mean, look at the state of Florida. The governor just opened up the state of Florida. More people are getting tested, but if you've noticed that the mortality rate, you rarely hear about somebody passing now. Um, Doctors now know so much more about COVID than they did when it first started, but the numbers are going to go up, and it's basically because we're trying to open the country up. You cannot shut the country down. If you shut the country down, it'll be worse than any pandemic you could possibly imagine. Also, while we're waiting for Tina, um, we have had people seem to love our political show, and we are getting some of the top names in politics. Kayleigh McEnany, we got Steve Cortez, Lara Trump. I mean, unbelievable the people who the White House are sending to our show. This morning, just to share with you, we got a call this morning. It's no lie, I promise this is the truth. At 6 a.m. this morning from the Pence staff, Vice President Pence staff, 6 a.m. this morning, wanting to know if we could interview Vice President Trump this afternoon at 3:45. So of course I went, let me tell you, yep, we'll do it. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Um, and then I asked them, I said, can we promote it? And they said, well, don't do anything yet. And then they called back about 30 minutes later wanting the phone number to call in. And I mean, I'm thinking now this is a for sure deal. And about 30 minutes later, I get a call from him. It looks like he's not going to be able to do it today, but he definitely wants to come on the show early next week. So sometime early next week, we will have Vice President Pence on our show. We've already interviewed his nephew, who's one of the senior members of President Trump's staff. But because we've gotten so much positive feedback for when we do our political show, we're adding on Tuesday nights at 7:30. We are going to be adding a 30-minute show on our political rights show. And as you know, they will mostly all be interviews, people calling in. 7 o'clock seems to be a little bit better time because most of the national shows want all the big names on at 6 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, they're replaying those for Central Standard Time, and they're available. We haven't had as many people on this past week because everybody is at the White House. I didn't even know that Barron Trump tested positive. He is now negative. The First Lady is negative. But they just reported today that the Barron Trump tested positive for COVID. Let me tell you something. If you haven't had COVID, I'm not going into any long story. I have, and it's it's just there's nothing good about it because even when you start testing negative, you still have other problems. Mine were my lungs, and I'm not a smoker, but it's not over when it's over. So I'm really proud of the president. He looks like he's lost some weight. He looks fabulous. His energy is there, and one of the things it affects your lungs is your fatigue level goes down, which is what happened to me. But president looks great. He's getting big crowds. Do not listen to the polls. Do not. Um, if you remember back in 2016, Hillary was way ahead. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people don't know how to read polls. They just see who's ahead. You have to read who they are polling. Who are the people they're polling? And I got to tell you, most of the time they're skewing Democrats and a lot of independents who normally are Democrats. So, of course, the numbers are going to look different, but many times they'll poll people that probably aren't even going to be voting at all. And so the White House actually knows real numbers. And I'm telling you, I think there's also, and I don't know about you, I've never been called to ask who I'm voting for. I've never had that before, but they say it's out there. Um, I'm going to tell you something. I think there's a lot of people that will not tell a friend or a family member they're going to vote for Trump. Why? I have no idea, but they vote for him. And I think that um, if you look at all the rioting that's still going out there, remember how they were blaming Portland and Seattle because we had federal troops there? Federal troops been gone for a long time, but the rioting started way before the federal troops got there, and it's still going on. There's no federal troops there anymore. And can you imagine the business owners there whose businesses have been burnt down? I mean, these people are insane. Um, I'm trying to buy some time because we're waiting for Tina Lewert to come on, and there's no way we can put her show on now. Sometimes she is a very, very busy family attorney. Um, maybe I can get Freddie to maybe flash Tina's phone number on the screen. If you have a question here you'd like to call in, I'll take some calls. 888 565 1470. We've got about 15 minutes. If you've got a question, something you want to throw at me, if you're a Democrat, I'd love to talk to you, and I'll give you a platform as long as we both get to talk. Phone number here again is 888 565 1470. And again, I want to thank the listeners, the people who take the time to email me how much they enjoy the political show as well as the Ask the Expert show. But it seems like we're getting a lot of new people who are tuning into the political show, and we're trying to work out something right now with Freddie where maybe it'll be an ongoing show even after November 3rd. At least one thing for sure is I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you have a problem with what I'm telling you, hey, call me up. 888 565 1470. If you've question, you want to call the show, tell me what you thought of today, the Senate hearings today. The Democrats are just brutal. And the questions, they keep asking the same questions over and over again, but rarely about policy because This is an incredible, incredible nomination by the president. Amy Coney Barrett, I mean, I don't think they come any better. I mean, this woman has had no notes. They've thrown everything at her. Look how calm she stayed. I mean, she hasn't talked over anybody. And, sometimes we forget her children are sitting there in the audience from the youngest to the oldest, and they have to hear this stuff about their mom. But, it's like they know their mother, what a great heart she's got. I mean, she's a woman of faith. She definitely knows the law, and they know who she is. And they also know that the Democrats are going out of their way to try to make her look bad. Doesn't look like Tina's going to be calling in today. Again, our phone number here is 888-565-1470. Ask the Experts is on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 drive time at night. And we do a live show. And we're starting this Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, we're adding a 30-minute show just on politics. I think one of our guests is Steve Cortez. You might know he was on CNN. He's conservative. Can you believe he was on CNN? And they're always razzing him, but he's so good. Our morning show we used to have, he actually had a segment every week on our show. Well, he's now with Fox now, Steve Cortez. He lives in Chicago now, but he's from Florida. And he knows the economy. He's a senior advisor to the president, and it looks like he's going to be on Tuesday. We're also trying to get Don Jr. on. It's amazing. We have interviewed all the Trumps more than twice, each one of them, Eric, Lara, and we haven't ever interviewed Donald. So I know they're working on that now. He's actually going to be in town tomorrow and Saturday. So hopefully we might have to get Freddie Santori to open up the studio so we can pre-record Donald. See, the bad thing about this is a lot of times we don't know till the last minute. And sometimes at the last minute, they will cancel because, if national TV wants him on, they're going to go to national TV. I would do that for a much larger audience. But I think it's kind of cool that I was telling a friend of mine today that with all the talk shows in town, how they normally call us first for an interview. And it was like that in our morning show that we did for 2 years. And it seems like it's getting back that way now. So we are going to be adding Tuesday nights. It's from 7 to 7:30. And our sponsor is Tassos Greek Taverna, the most fabulous Greek restaurant I've ever dined at. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever dined at. Everybody that I've sent there has all gone back, told their friends about it. It is, if you like fresh seafood, their seafood is amazing. What I love about having the owner, Sophia Milona, on the show is she's a business owner, she's a woman, and she knows her politics. So I love having her on the show with me, and also she's an immigrant too, and she did everything the right way. So her and her husband Gus have decided to sponsor Politically Right every Tuesday night by Tassos Greek Taverna. let's, you know what, call them up to, I don't have their phone number. I'm sorry. I should probably have had that. But call them tomorrow, make reservations. They don't do lunch, they do dinner. Call them up tomorrow and make reservations for the weekend. It is the greatest place, and it's not. You would think when you see the place, it's going to be cost you an arm and a leg. It is not. It's very. I think it's very moderate priced. And now, the valet parking is going to cost you $100, but who cares? That's valet parking. No, no, but the prices are incredible for the atmosphere, for the freshness of the food. And most people have not had real Greek food. Um, Whereas Tasso's Greek Tavern, it's real Greek food. A lot of it is Sophia's mother's recipes, but they are the sponsor. We got to support them because we got to bring Florida in. If President Trump does not get Florida, I think we're going to have to call it a day. That's how important Florida is. But I saw where they had a parade downtown Miami a couple of weeks ago. It was Latinos for Trump. And I didn't believe the numbers when I saw it. But then I heard it again, and another source, they said 30,000 cars participated in this parade for Trump. And then I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, if you're big on the internet, especially on Facebook, if you've seen the boat parades that they're doing, and I think it looks like they're doing them almost every weekend. And every boat's got a Trump banner and flags. And by the way, if you're looking for a Trump hat and you've got maybe 10 styles or T-shirts or flags or banners, there's a place that opened up in Fort Lauderdale. I think it's on A1A and 34th Street. It's called the Trump Store. Now, I haven't seen any Biden stores out there, but this is the store. And well, I tell you, I was like a kid in a candy shop. They were packed in there. But if you want any kind of Trump paraphernalia, I guess we can still call them paraphernalia. Um, it's called the Trump Store. It's in Fort Lauderdale. It's on A1A and 34th Street. And just tell them Steve-O told you to come in. Uh, it's just right there at the corner. I mean, if you're coming down, if you're going south on A1A, say from Commercial, it's before you get to Oakland Park. It's on the right-hand side of the corner. You cannot miss it. It's a strip center, but it sticks out. And if you're looking for birthday presents or gifts, anything, this is a greatest store. Um, I love my Trump hat. I actually wore it in Publix today, and a little nervous. I have worn my MAGA hat in there before, and actually no one hassled me at all. And I actually had 7 people come up to me with thumbs up. But today I wore my Trump 2020 hat. Such a cool hat. Um, it's all embroidered 2020. It says MAGA. It's got stars on it. Trump is done in red, white, and blue stars. Not one person came up to me and hassled me, said anything negative. I had 3 or 4 people ask me where I got the hat. We're in Broward County, it's pretty liberal. So I don't know if that's a sign that it's a good sign for the president, but I'm telling you, I don't know if it's going to be close and anybody tells you they know who's going to win. I do know this, and I was just talking to Freddie about this, is about all the people who are doing vote by mail, and the numbers are higher than ever before. But I heard a morning show that I love listening to. It's actually on same station as we're on. Uh, they were talking about a survey, a polling that was done. And the polling showed, listen to this, that Democratic men, 6% of them would go out during COVID, would go out, 6%. And 3% of women would go out. That means the rest of them would not go out during COVID. And I just don't think a lot of people, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people are going to even vote this time. But these out of town votes, I really think that I think they're going to be surprised. I think a lot of these votes are for President Trump. And I just got to hope because, folks, I'm going to tell you, and you can write me all the mean letters you want. But if Biden becomes president, I'm going to tell you something. Our country is in big trouble. Now you can say that you can say that. I'm sorry. I was trying to see if maybe Tina was coming on. You can say that I'm wrong about this, but Biden has already said he's going to raise taxes, and forget about the only people who make over $400,000. Because if he says he's going to get rid of the taxes that Trump put in, you can't just get rid of some of it and not the other. You got to get rid of the whole thing. So that means everybody's taxes are going to go up. And if you don't think that they want to take your guns away, look who he's put in charge. Beto O'Rourke, who's already he wants people's guns removed. You know, Biden says he's his own man. In the meantime, he's got Bernie Sanders telling him what to do. He's got AOC telling him what to do. So how in the world can he be his own man? Folks, I'm telling you, listen, you might not like President Trump's personality, how he handles things, but there's one thing you cannot say. You cannot say that he doesn't get things done. He has done more in 3 years than any president has done in 8 years. Oh, wasn't our last president in office for 8 years? Well, listen, I've gone a whole 30 minutes. That's why 7 to 7:30 is going to be an easy show to do. We're going to break. We have a new expert coming on, and I love his name, Dr. Dinner. He is a local chiropractor. We're going to be talking about auto accidents because we've received so many letters from listeners asking us about auto accidents, the injury part of it, because we've got the greatest personal injury attorney with Shane Farnsworth. But we're going to talk about auto accidents and injuries that you have. And listen, this guy is amazing. We've actually spent a lot of time together. So we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Dinner right at dinner time. We'll be right back.
www.lewartlaw.com.
Dr. Howard Dinner is the Director of Health Services at Community Health and Wellness Center, one of South Florida's most established natural healing facilities, serving South Florida with chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy, physical therapy, and auto and work injury rehabilitation since 1988. Dr. Howard and his staff have treated thousands of auto and work injury patients. They have extensive experience working with lawyers, and part of their process includes handling every detail of billing and insurance claims. Auto accident insurance, PIP, and auto accident attorney liens accepted. Many times, you will not be billed for auto accident injury treatment until your case is settled. They also accept most insurance, including all auto insurance, all PPO plans, many HMO plans, and state and federal workers' compensation. Contact Community Health and Wellness Center today at 954-370-PAIN. That's 954-370-7246.
You are listening to the Ask the Expert Show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
Well, I don't know, we're having, I guess, some technical difficulties. You know what, if we can we go to break and let me see if I can find out what's going on with our next guest. We'll be right back.
Dr. Howard Dinner is the Director of Health Services at Community Health and Wellness Center, one of South Florida's most established natural healing facilities, serving South Florida with chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy, physical therapy, and auto and work injury rehabilitation since 1988. Dr. Howard and his staff have treated thousands of auto and work injury patients. They have extensive experience working with lawyers, and part of their process includes handling every detail of billing and insurance claims. Auto accident insurance, PIP, and auto accident attorney liens accepted. Many times, you will not be billed for auto accident injury treatment until your case is settled. They also accept most insurance, including all auto insurance, all PPO plans, many HMO plans, and state and federal workers' compensation. Contact Community Health and Wellness Center today at 954-370-PAIN. That's 954-370-7246.
Lewert Law Offices is proud to be the family law expert on the Ask the Expert show. Attorney Tina Lewert is a board-certified specialist in marital and family law. Attorney Lewert is committed to obtaining the best resolution for your divorce or other family law case by consistently providing skilled representation, expert legal advice, and personal attention. Attorney Lewert has developed an excellent reputation for providing effective divorce and family law representation in Boca Raton and the surrounding communities. Lewert Law Offices offers legal advice and representation in a wide range of family law matters, including divorce, child custody, time sharing and visitation, child support, alimony, complex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact Attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com.
Well, if you noticed, if you were watching the Senate hearings today, they had all kinds of problems, technical problems, which we are having now. Freddie is working on getting our next guest on, Dr. Dinner. I don't know what's happened, but they're working on getting that. So we're waiting on Dr. Dinner of Community Health Wellness Center. He is one of the top chiropractors in South Florida. There's a lot of chiropractors in South Florida. And I got to tell you, he is, without a doubt, we're so lucky to get him that it could have, we could have gotten someone who is not as good, doesn't have the credentials that he has, but he has the most. I mean, we actually sat and talked for 2 hours in his office, and his office is really easy to find. And I got to tell you, if you've been to a chiropractor before and you didn't have much luck, I got to tell you, there's some bad chiropractors out there, and there are some great chiropractors out there. And sometimes you end up going to someone who maybe isn't as good, and we were just very lucky. We've got the best of the best. His name is Dr. Howard Dinner. That really is his name, Dr. Howard Dinner. The name of his practice is Community Health Wellness Center. We're going to be talking about auto accidents tonight, and I think they're working on getting him up and rolling. Just to remind you, we are on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 drive time. And we're also going to be starting a new 30-minute show called Politically Right, because we've had so many of our listeners write us telling us how much they've enjoyed the interviews. People from Washington, uh, high profile people. Oh, there he is. There he is. There's
Hey, how
Dr.
are
Dinner.
you?
Okay.
Let
I
me
was
get in
just
better
telling them,
position here.
yeah, I was just telling everybody that sometimes you might have gone to a chiropractor once and didn't have good results. There are good chiropractors and there are bad chiropractors
Right,
because
just
you
like
had
anything
a,
else.
yeah. So, hey, Dr. Dinner. And I told everybody that's really your last name is
Yes,
Dr.
it
Dinner.
is.
The name of your practice is Community Health Wellness Center. Tell us about your practice.
Okay, we've been here in the same office for more than 33 years. We started in 1988, expanded, and haven't moved since. We provide full service chiropractic care, acupuncture, massage therapy, physical therapy, nutritional counseling, and nutrition. And We treat auto accidents, general conditions like headaches, neck pain, lower back pain, a whole variety of neuromuscular skeletal conditions. But we also treat people who have high blood pressure, diabetes, um, of
You can
course,
treat someone who has
medically
diabetes.
managed as well. What's that? As long as they're medically managed. Yes, we use acupuncture. Uh, Helps bring down blood pressure and also helps some sugar control. Um,
How, Dr. Dinner, how
I've
has your
treated.
practice changed? How's your practice changed since COVID?
Oh, it's there's people who are afraid to come out. We have taken all the necessary precautions in our office for social distancing, masking, sanitizing our treatment tables. We bleach everything that we use that should possibly touch a patient. Um, Things have changed a lot. Uh, some people are hesitant. I granted, many people are here. We thank goodness we haven't had any problems in our office. Um, I haven't had any issues, nor have my associate or anyone else who works here, and we're very thankful for that, of course. But
I know you wear a mask because every time you and
yeah,
I talk, you've got your mask on the
exactly.
whole time.
Right
So,
here, I have them right here, ready to go. Need it.
well,
There's
we're going to be
nobody here.
talking.
There's nobody in my office now, so there's no reason I would think that I need to wear a mask. But yeah, we all have to be careful. It's yeah. One day we'll look back at this, and hopefully we can all chuckle a little bit. But so many people have succumbed to this and have taken illness. I know you have had a bout
Yeah.
with COVID. We've discussed that, I mean, at long length, in fact. You and I have had great discussions, I
We
have to
have.
say.
We have.
We
You know
have.
what I tell you what this proves, Dr. Dinner. I tell you what this proves. You and I are on different sides of the political table, but we get along great. Why can't they do that
Right.
in Washington?
Oh, that I can't explain. That, back when I was a child, I grew up in New York. And back when I was a child, the way people were delineated was whether you were a Mets fan or a Yankees fan. But everyone got along, right? And then it was the Giants and the Jets, right? And and you didn't speak to somebody for about 3 seconds to digest that I'm looking at a Jets fan here. And it was, but everyone got along, right? And everyone spoke to everyone when I grew up. Didn't matter what your political persuasion was or your ethnic background. Um, but that's not the climate today, and that's a shame.
Wow,
You
I
know,
know.
it's a
Very
shame. I
sad.
mean, that the climate in our society is one of non-tolerance of other people's points of view. You know,
Well,
and
let's get to business. You've seen so many auto accidents. I mean,
right.
you've been in practice for over 30 years. You've seen a lot of auto accidents. Why should someone come see a chiropractor right after their accident?
Okay. First of all, they need to get evaluated for damage, for injury to ligaments, muscles, tendons. Uh, in rare circumstances, there could be a fracture. And they need to come in almost right away to a facility to be evaluated that they haven't sustained an injury that could lead to permanency. Uh, and somewhat regardless of whether or not they think it's going to go away. Um, they put more pressure on us, the legislature, in that a patient has 14 days to go seek medical care following an auto accident. And how does that put pressure on people? Well, a lot of people say, it'll go away. I have a little kink in my
Right?
neck. Let me give some time. And then what happens is 3, 4 weeks later, this is still persisting. Let me go see a doctor. Well, they missed out because
The
they have
Bengay's
14
not working.
days. The
The
Bengay's
Bengay's
not
not working.
working. Right. Yeah. All these people are um, are out of luck.
Yeah.
And because there's no benefits available to them.
Right.
Everyone
Well, because
has
of
everyone
hip.
has personal injury protection in the state of
Yes.
Florida, which allows up to $10,000 of treatment for injuries sustained in an auto accident or any kind of incident around your automobile. And but a person wants to check whether or not they've sustained a whiplash, whether or not the soft tissue has been injured, and that could take some time to heal. And what we're able to provide is first diagnose it,
You have
evaluate it.
X-ray on site. You have an X-ray machine
Absolutely.
on
We have
site.
x-rays, and injury patients are almost all injury patients are x-rayed. But again, it depends on severity and necessity. And of course, a treatment set to heal them quickly and heal them well. As you know, if you cut yourself and it's a deep enough cut, if you don't seek medical attention, even though you stop bleeding, it may need to be stitched to make the scar small, the smallest possible scar. And if you don't have it stitched, you may get a really thick scar, and and I'm sure we've all experienced that, right? That it takes more time for it to heal. And so it's a similar situation. You want to make sure the ligaments are not hurt, not injured. You want to make sure the muscles are not injured. We check, we get indications on x-rays whether or not people have sustained possible disc injuries, which we would confirm with MRIs and CTs if needed. And also, depending upon the nature of a person's injury, we would reach out for medical assistance if medication is needed, because chiropractors don't prescribe medicine. And we would reach out to other healthcare professionals like orthopedists, neurologists, pain management specialists, and in rare circumstances, surgeons to assist a patient in recovery. Auto accidents can be very severe, even those that are seemingly low impact, where there's not much damage to your car. Today's cars, as the auto manufacturers will tell you, are designed to crunch. They're designed to absorb the shock like an accordion. That's why,
So they're
a little
safer.
damage could, yeah, they're safer. And however, if the automobile doesn't absorb the shock, what does? You do.
Yes.
The patient, the person, the occupants of the vehicle get the forces from that automobile accident. And so a low impact, not much damage, a scratch on the bumper could in fact cause somebody issues with their neck, their back, their shoulders. They could have been impact the interior of the vehicle from the jolt, and they could wind up, suffering with a condition.
Dr. Dinner, is whiplash, is that still used? I mean, that was used when I was a kid. Is it still
Yeah.
whiplash, or do you have a different terminology for it now?
No, it's hyperflexion, hyperextension. There's many different terms that are used medically, but generically, it's called a whiplash. It's when your neck is like that, fast. I mean, we're not talking about slow
Right.
back and forth. It's very fast. And as you remember from physics class back in high school, right? Momentum
Oh, yeah, I
equals
failed it.
force times velocity, right? So you have something very
He's
fast,
showing
has
he's
a
showing
lot of
off now
momentum,
how
right?
smart he is.
So anyway,
So that's usually an auto accident, though, is when you see
what's that?
whiplash. Whiplash.
Yeah, yeah. Usually it's from an auto accident. The automobiles are made better. Today, you have your headrest and you're strapped in with a seatbelt. But injuries can still happen. Not all of us sit all the way back and are tied like this when we're driving,
Right.
So you get a rear impact, and if you're not aware it's happening, it's going to happen. Who's aware of they're going to be hitting the rear end in their vehicle? Who would know? It happens suddenly, so you're not braced for it. Similar to a football player knowing whether or not he's going to be hit or not, whether or not he's going to be tackled or he's going to be blindsided. And so the injuries are much more severe in anything when you know it's not gonna happen, when it
You know,
catches you by surprise.
we're talking about auto accidents, but our listeners know that if they have a question, that they can text us, and we just got a text from somebody wondering, why am I always so stiff after sitting for a long time?
Okay, it could be an arthritic condition. It could be lack of muscle tone. This is considering that there's been no injury. If there's been injury, there's scar tissue, which leads to stiffness.
But we're sitting a lot now with COVID, though, Dr. Dinner. People are
Yeah,
working at home. We're sitting a lot more.
right.
Can that
Because
is
there's
that
the
could that
most
cause
pressure.
stiffness by itself?
Yeah, yeah. The most weight bearing position a person can be in is sitting. The most weight bearing
Oh,
on the spine. Right?
wow.
Sitting is terrible for people with back issues, any kind of back problem, disc problems, because the weight of your torso is now completely distributed on your back. You stand, you move around. That's the most valuable thing you can do from excess sitting, is moving around. Standing is not as much pressure as when you're sitting down. Lying down is better. That's why when your back really hurts, what do? You lay down and you try to
Right.
stretch it out, right? And many times that gives you some relief. But a person could have arthritis, they could have disc conditions, they could have muscle problems, muscle imbalance. Many different things can cause stiffness, back pain. Uh, there's a whole, it's just not one thing. And you could have a pinched nerve caused by many different things.
You know, you and I talked about the questions that we would be talking about, and it's funny. I just got a text in for one of the questions that we were going to talk about tonight. This is Gabe. Gabe is in Fort Lauderdale, and he wants to know, who do you see first, a lawyer or a chiropractor?
Well, you have to find out if you're really hurt first. So where do you go? You go to the doctor first. You find out the extent of your injuries, an estimate on how long it's going to take to get better. And you come to the doctor first. Let the doctor evaluate you. Let us evaluate you so we can determine how seriously hurt a person may be. And then, given the facts, they can decide whether or not they want legal representation. Because after all, somebody did something to them.
Yes.
And
so for old people like me, do you take Medicare?
Absolutely. Yeah, we take Medicare even from old people like you. But you're not that old.
That's enough. That's enough out of you. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough out of you. Tell people, because why they should come. There are hundreds of chiropractors in South Florida. I was shocked to see. We were lucky enough to get the cream of the cream with Dr. Dinner. Why should they come? Why should someone come to you versus going somewhere else?
Okay. Well, we've been established for Okay, we've been established for a pretty long time. We've seen tens of thousands of patients, right? Most of them we've seen they've been very successful with chiropractic care and other types of services that we provide, including acupuncture and physical therapy. I personally am a graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic,
Great
which is the
school.
oldest, largest, uh, most famous chiropractic
Yes.
college, the original chiropractic college in Davenport, Iowa, the one founded by the founder of chiropractic, Dr. Palmer. And
A New
I've
York Jewish guy in
been,
Iowa. Dr.
yeah,
Dinner, a Jewish
there were a few
New
of us.
Yorker in Iowa. Oh, God.
There were several of us, right?
Yes.
Because we wanted to go to what was called the Fountainhead,
Right.
which is the source of chiropractic, and for what I consider the finest training in chiropractic. Um, what Palmer chiropractors do, well, as do others, is get people well. That's what we do. That's what we specialize in. We specialize in getting people well. We use only natural procedures. It's our major technique is hands-on. It's safe. It's gentle. We don't hurt people. People tend to get better. Some miraculously, some with some effort of returning for care and putting on a treatment program, just like a diet or an exercise program would be. And also I have special training in handling things like auto accidents, decompression therapy, which is a very effective treatment for herniated discs. I specialize in what's called Cox decompression therapy, which I have been certified by the Cox Foundation. And Dr. Cox himself, the inventor of the procedure. They're not affiliated with the Florida Board of Chiropractic Medicine. However, they have issued their own certification, which I have been a recipient of from special training, which is another thing that can happen from an auto accident.
Hey, Dr. Dinner,
is a herniated disc.
Before they kick us off the air, give everybody your phone number and your website.
Oh, okay. Well, you're displaying a phone number which may be not correct. It is 954-370-7246.
Okay,
That may not be. I see it on the air. Where did they get that number? Is that my competitor?
No.
They're going to call my competitor? Should I call and find out? Okay, so our website. Here's the easy way to remember our website. Dr. Dinner, drdinner.com. drdinner.com. And
you're going to be back with us next month.
PAIN is also out. Right? So call us. We'll be happy to treat you, happy to evaluate you.
We'll see you next month. Thank you, Dr. Dinner.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks
We'll be
for
back
listening to
on
the
Monday.
Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.